Pretty much everything that was said about Neo Bowser City in the last video can be said again about Dragon Driftway due to them being very similar in layout. Both races are difficult for their bendy twists, turns, and a consistent layout, but something about Dragon Driftway seems a bit more interesting. Perhaps it's because much of this race is in anti-gravity mode? Or is it the wider range of color? Either way, it's a very creative design for a track. The coolest part is that the dragon we drive in is Gobblegut from Super Mario Galaxy 2. Then comes a swarm of tight turns that are often tough to map out due to the whole race being very clustered together. Seriously, good luck playing this in the higher CC modes. Mario Kart Stadium is the race that kicks off your whole Mario Kart 8 experience. And boy, does it do inside one of the biggest stadium races ever. I mean, look at this place. It's basically screaming, Mario Kart 8 is new revolutionary graphics, you'll love this game! It's a very easy race, yeah, but it is also a race that won't get boring often as well, with several shortcuts off the beaten path. Super mushrooms are definitely a helpful power-up no matter where you are here. The glide section towards the end is by far the most exciting moment of this track. It definitely qualifies for a solid starting race for a game as big and visually appealing as this. Did you think Mario Circuit from Mario Kart 7 looked great? Pfft. Check out Royal Raceway, and that'll all change in an instant. Still don't believe me? Play this race, then play the original Royal Raceway from Mario Kart 64. Now you're convinced. The very much deserved glide jump did indeed find its way in the final cut, along with some toads driving hot air balloons. The whole race simply got a fresh coat of paint. Not one section of the race feels rushed at all. How can you not enjoy looking out the beautiful lake, and the crowd cheering you on as you finish a lap? That being said, it is just another standard circuit race, but because of how stunning it looks, it earns a spot above some of the other circuits. What's more adorable than toads cheering you on in pretty much each of these tracks? Well, gingerbread toads, that's what! Only in Sweet Sweet Canyon will you see such a sight. The detail they put into this track is just through the roof. You can see the big cake-like formation that seems to resemble New Super Mario Bros. 2's World 2 cake. Oh my god, Mario, how much cake can you handle? Anyway, though wafer windmills and gingerbread toads are really awesome little touches, there's also a neat donut shortcut that can take practice to pull off correctly. I do feel like the cannon is a bit out of place in this kind of stage, and they could have made this stage a tad easier for a mushroom cup placeholder, as there isn't much of a difference in color between the road and the rest of the environment. The multiple settings, anti-gravity, and charming details all aided in Sweet Sweet Canyon's number 37 placement. Mario Kart Double Dash discovered a beautifully creative idea to create a circuit in the shape of a themed character. Probably picked which character they'd outline out of a hat randomly, and thus Yoshi Circuit was born. They did a great job at detailing the entire landscape, so not a single section of the race feels rushed at all. Some areas are neat tunnels. Other sections are simple straightaways to unleash your super mushrooms. This section, however, feels very weird to drive through. I especially like the small town at the starting line that gives this track very elaborate detail. As long as you don't play this track in 200cc, this is an entertaining and replayable track to play. Besides, come on, Yoshi! They could have picked Mario or Luigi, but they went with a dinosaur instead. Sherbetland found its way at number 35 thanks to all of the separate paths you can now take thanks to Mario Kart 8's underwater driving feature. If you didn't like slipping and sliding into dancing Shy Guys or funny looking icebergs, fear no more. Now all you gotta do is swim under them. This also gives the race more replay value to see which path you prefer more. All you need to do is drive through the cones and enjoy the atmosphere underwater, or slide around on the ice above. The music also fits very well with this nighttime stage, but to cap it off, they added penguins! This track is also a nice breath of fresh air after tough ones like Grumble Volcano and Bowser's Castle. And that's what makes me find it a fun track to play, as long as you don't hit those dang iceberg things! The first thing you'll notice about Excitebike Arena is the shape. It's a stretched out oval and nothing more. Seems boring, but like Baby Park from Double Dash, the concept put into the gimmick of this stage makes it one of the most creative and unique in the entire series. Doing tricks off of ramps has always been fun, because of the additional speed gained, so why not make a stage completely based off doing just that? Here, all they'll need to worry about as obstacles are other racers' power-ups and veering off course, which shouldn't happen that much because there are 2 total curves in 1 entire lap. The ramp placements even change each time you play this course. It's such a different race compared to everything else in the Mario Kart series, and that's why it has such praiseworthy reviews. I myself enjoy this race and consider it one of the best in the Egg Cup. I used to despise this race because of how floaty your vehicle felt every time you play it on the Wii version, but now that Mario Kart 8 has resolved that issue, the heroic figure that it is, it handles a lot better. Anti-gravity is integrated in the second half of the race, so now you don't flip over when you hit a minecart. Instead, it acts as a bumper, granting you a nice speed boost. That whole section used to be very irritating, but now it's a lot more fun while still being appropriately challenging. I also love the added detail. It looks a lot more like there's an advanced mining civilization than there was before. It's basically a much needed fresh coat of paint to a race that has finally unleashed the potential that it had at the beginning.